As a CEO, how do you know if you are drinking too much? Hi everyone, I'm Coach David J. Greer, and today I want to talk to you about the journey of being a CEO or an entrepreneur of your own business, and whether you're curious about how much you're drinking and whether that's too much. I remember an event I was at in the mid-2000s with a lot of other entrepreneurs, CEOs, and this was a 2.5-day event just for entrepreneurs. And we were sitting around at 1:30 in the morning in the hotel bar, and we were still drinking scotch from one of the vendors who had a scotch tasting. I think they ran out, and then some of the better off entrepreneurs were buying rounds of scotch from the bar. And there must have been at least 30 or 40 of us still up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning drinking. And we had started with afternoon drinks before dinner. Another vendor had sponsored wine with dinner. And so many of us had been continuously drinking from 5 o'clock to 2 a.m. Now, Stats Canada defines heavy drinking this way. For a woman, they say 4 drinks in one occurrence once a month for a year. That's heavy drinking. For a man, it's 5 drinks in one occurrence once a month for a year. Now, of course, for me, in my drinking story, I had more than that every single day for 20 years. So I was well beyond the heavy drinking. And, you know, that night in the bar at that event, I think almost everyone there was having a heavy drinking occurrence. Now, whether they were alcoholics, well, that's for them to decide. But I know that I, at that time, was an alcoholic. Another thing you can try is controlled drinking. So I did make a few attempts to quit or moderate my drinking. I call those white knuckle experiences because I was literally just hanging on by my fingernails. I had no program of recovery, nothing to fall back on, no people around me who were in recovery and could support me. And even those times when I only had a few drinks, I was just obsessing about when I was going to get my next drink. Or if I was trying to drink a drink slowly, you know, I would just get frustrated. And I know watching people around me who are not alcoholics, you know, take a glass of wine and have it last for most of an evening, or them even turn away when it's halfway done and say, I've had enough. That would drive me crazy. And those were clear indications that I really couldn't drink anymore, and I was drinking far more than I should. Then the last piece I want to share is, are you in denial about the amount you drink or whether you drink too much? I was in denial for decades. I remember in the 90s being in my doctor's office, and there was a little pamphlet. And in the pamphlet, you answered a number of questions about your drinking. I think there was 20 questions, and I completed them all. And in the end of the day, I think I got 17 out of 20 that I had check marks. And the recommendation was if you had 3 or more, you should talk to your doctor about your drinking. Well, I remember looking at that and going, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. I've got so many friends that drink like that. And of course, as an alcoholic, I surrounded myself with other people, or other people who I thought drank like me. Maybe they only drank like me around me. Or maybe they were drinking half as much as me or even less, but I didn't realize it. But I was clearly in denial and not ready to think or talk about or do anything about my drinking. If any of these fit you or sound like something that you can relate to, know that you can always call me, email me. We can set up a time to have a conversation, and I can share, some of my journey and how I got past that denial, how I realized that I was drinking far too much, and that I had a drinking problem, and ultimately I needed to go into recovery and I needed to admit that I was an alcoholic. And know that any conversation that you have with me will be 100% confidential. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're struggling with alcohol in any way, either you've stopped or even if you're still drinking, give me a call, send me an email, let's have a conversation. Here's my promise to entrepreneurs. Spend 1 hour with me and you will have 3 ideas that will accelerate your business in 90 days. What are you waiting for? I'm Coach David J. Greer. You can learn more on my website, coachdjgreer.com. And if you're stuck, just call me, 604-721-5732.